Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Leslie. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm doing another episode for Thrifty Thursday, and me and Becky have to do wood veneer, scraps and watercolors today. So I pulled out this wood veneer. This is more like thick chipboard. No, it's not chipboard. It's a very thick wood veneer. I don't know if you can see how thick that is. But I have had this word in my stash for a while and I really want to use it, and I love the font. So I'm going to be using this wood veneer as my title today. The watercolors I'm going to be using is my Japanese watercolors, and you can see them in all their glory. I'm not sure how I'm going to be using them today, but I'm going to be using them. And then the scraps I'm going to be using is from my Mini Kit Monday April kit that I put together. And if you're interested to know what Mini Kit Monday is, please go onto my channel and you will see a load of Mini Kit Monday movies. And what we do is we put together a kit at the beginning of every month, and then we make layouts for every Monday with this kit, and it's random papers, random embellishments. So this is the kit I put together, and I've got loads of scraps from this kit, so I am going to be using this kit today for my scraps. Now the idea that I had for my scraps is first idea I had was to make little squares out of the scraps and sort of position them on the layout, but then I thought, why don't I punch out some shapes? So I pulled out my butterfly punch and I am going to be punching some of these papers out, and once I've punched them all out I will decide what I'm going to do with the watercolors. Okay, so first things first, I am just going to be punching out some of those papers with I'm sort of matching how many of each side of the print I want, because some of the papers are double-sided. So and I try to organize them in, I know this is not a rainbow pattern, but sort of going from one color gradually to the next, I think, if that makes any sense. So I decided to use a toothbrush to apply my watercolors for today, and this is an old toothbrush and it's very frayed on the edges. You can see that it's had some better days and I'm just showing you in slow-mo there the state of the toothbrush. So I'm basically just wetting my toothbrush and then applying the toothbrush, or putting the toothbrush on the paint and then applying the paint to the paper. Now this is plain smooth cardstock. It's not American Crafts cardstock. It is no name brand cardstock and it's not primed whatsoever. So this actually turns out really well. There's minimal warpage. The page doesn't warp as much. So I was quite impressed with the fact that I didn't prime this page at all. And you can see how vibrant those colors are. And look, I mean, take it from me, I have had many watercolors in my stash, and I have tried out many watercolors, and this Japanese set watercolors is by far the best. I mean, a little goes a long way. I have used this many times and you can see I've still got a lot of that watercolor left, and just the fact that it's so vibrant and bright, the colors are so vibrant, and and they don't have that chalky feel that watercolors, that cheaper watercolors sometimes have, and that's, I hate it if it's got that very chalky, that chalky look. I can't stand that. So the photo that I'm going to be using is of my daughter. It's her year 1 photo, the first day of year 1, which is, I think, because we're doing British curriculum, I think year 1 is the same as kindergarten. So it's her first day of year 1, and she's just giving me a big smile, and that is why I wanted to use that title, Dream, so that it's sort of, dream your way through school type thing. So I decided, I wanted to use some more of my scraps. So I folded up the edge, the top right hand edge of the layout, and just put in a paper clip to keep that edge down, because I wanted to staple it down, but I don't have any staples in my stapler. So I'm too lazy to go get any more. I've got staples somewhere, I just don't know where they are. So I've got these on hand. These paper clips are on my desk, so I thought, why not use them? And I thought to add the green checker block paper to the back of that folded over edge, or the folded over corner. And then I thought of doing it to the bottom left hand corner as well, just to balance it out a little bit. And you might not like this, you might like it. I'm in two minds about it. Looking at it now, I think I should have left it, but I did it, and it's there, and it'll grow on me. I'm sure it'll grow on me. So I'm just going to be using that darker sort of pinky reddish tone on tone paper as the backing corner for my folded over corner. Also using the same paper clip. I think that's just one different size. I'm not sure. I think it is. There's a bunch of different sizes in that little baggie of paper clips I've got there. I wanted to match the colors, you know, the bottom with the red and the top with the green. First, I thought I would back my photo with some foam adhesive, but then I decided not to. I'm not sure why. I just decided no. I think maybe because of the amount of mixed media I have in the back, the paint. I don't think that it would have stuck so, you know, well enough to the watercolor in the background. And also because that dream, the word dream, wood veneer is very dimensional, and I wanted to put it over the photo over her feet. So I didn't want that to stand up too much. I didn't know how I would pop that up on foam adhesive as well. So I like the fact that I just left it like that. And so I'm putting in my little butterflies, sort of matching them to the corresponding color that they are on, and just letting them sort of go in a vertical formation up on the page. And it's sort of the whole idea of this layout is to let Emma's dreams fly away with her, and to never give up on a dream, and you know, to just be free in your dreaming. And yeah, so I could have also colored in or painted that word dream in, made it white, but I like the wood color. I really like it, so I thought I'd leave it like that. And you can see how beautifully that that bottom reddish pink watercolor, how the water pooled, how the color pooled in sections. And this watercolor is amazing. I bought it on Amazon. I'm not sure of the link that I used. I have no clue which shop I got it from, but if you type in Japanese watercolors on the Amazon app, it'll link you straight to these watercolors. I think they're called Kenzai or something watercolors. I don't know. Just type in Japanese watercolors and then it'll get you straight to those watercolors. So then these little rub-ons are from the Whimsical collection, and I've still got a lot of them left. And I thought that these words in the rub-on pack go perfectly with sort of what I want to tell Emma through this layout. You know, that first word says grateful, and I want her to be grateful for everything she has. And the second word that I'm going to be using is fun. I want her to have lots of fun in going to school and making friends and learning. I mean, you know, we go through so much in life, ups and downs, and you know, if we were all taught to have fun, I think life would have been a lot different than what it is now. And I think we are taught at a very young age to take things very seriously and to grow up very quickly. And my aunt always used to say that a child needs to play as long as possible. And I think that's sort of the principle to what I try to, you know, bring my children up with, is play as long as possible. I mean, my 11-year-old still loves his Legos and his, you know, cartoon figurines and things like that. And Emma still loves her dollies and her things. So I'm very glad that my kids still love to play. So I'm going to be sticking that little heart or rubbing on that heart straight onto the photo. It's a dark blue heart, and I felt that it worked perfectly there. It sort of just, it went well with the dark colors of the seats that she's sitting on. That rub-on that I just rubbed on says enjoy every moment. Enjoy the moment, excuse me. So I thought that that was perfect. I wanted also to have little aspects peeping out from behind the folded over edges. So I rubbed on this little rainbow triangle little border, and then at the top one, top fold over, I put some of those little flowers, just tuck them in behind the folded over bit. This border I'm also just sticking or like tucking in behind the photo just to bring in some extra color. And this layout is a bit higgledy-piggledy. It's a bit all over the place. But, you know, this is going to go in her school album. And I don't necessarily want to scrap the school photos with a school-themed scrapbooking kit. And I've gotten it right with Emma. I'm struggling a bit with the boys because, you know, boys... You can't do this type of layout. It's very feminine. I am a proponent of sort of sexually biased layouts, so I don't have an issue with flowers for girl or flowers for boys and more masculine layouts for girls, but you'd agree with me that this is an overtly feminine layout. So something like this I wouldn't be able to do for the boys. I have to figure out what I'm going to do for their school albums to have it a bit more, you know, boyish and so on. But I really like the way this layout turned out in the end. I am going to be bringing in some more of my watercolors. And again, I'm just putting my toothbrush straight into the water, adding some paint to it, and then I am pulling my finger across the bristles. And that is how I'm creating my splatters. And these splatters are super fine. I love them. They're not as big and blotchy as, say, a spray would be. The yellow, I had too much water on the paint, on the toothbrush. So the yellow made a little bit of a blob. But I'm going to be mopping up that. I'm going to be getting that all dried up with a tissue later on. But this spray is super fine. It's like a little mist, and I really like the fact that it's so fine. It doesn't take over the layout whatsoever. It just adds enough to the background to, you know, to add some interest to the background. So that is it for this layout. If you like what you see, please give it a thumbs up, and if you are not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. And then hit the bell notification so that you're also notified every time I upload a video. I would love to hear from you guys as well. I always read all your comments. If I don't reply to your comment, it's not because I didn't read it. I do get a lot of comments, and about once a week I go through all my comments. And then if any questions are asked, I do answer them. So if you have any questions about this layout, please let me know and I'll answer it as best as I can. I will also leave a link down below for Becky's layout, and she did a really gorgeous layout, and I will leave a link down below for that. If you are interested in this, please watch out for next week. We have another 3 aspects that we're going to be scrapping for next week, and I will see you again soon. Thanks, bye.